So now in order to get the building to not exceed this our plot line, we want to just do a little math. And one of the easiest things to do is just to offset this line the distance of, or at least half the distance of the building width. And so the easy way to do that is to use what's called a curve offset. So I'm going to go curve. I guess I'm going to have to type more than that. Dot offset. There it is. And you'll notice that it has a curve. So I'm going to take the, let's see which one we want to grab here. We just take it right from data. Remember, we can input the curve. Now we have a curve right on top of another curve, except that it's off by a distance of 1 foot in a positive direction. So we really want to make that so that it's this half distance. We want to pull this point in so that we account for whatever the width of the building is. So we're going to need to make some kind of a formula so for that offset. So I'm going to write a code block that we take that width of the building. So I'll make up a variable W divided by, now you'll notice the black line is outside of the red line. So things that move in a positive direction are moving out. We want it to move in, and we're going to make that move in a negative direction. So we've taken W, which is the width of the building, and we're going to divide it in half, but we're going to divide it with a -2. That's just a shortcut to make sure that the value comes out negative. And I'll go back over here and look for the width of the building. Actually, there it is. I'm going to pull this way back because we're going to want to use this later as an input. I want it to be really clear the things that we can select. And I'm going to pull that width then into our code block. All right, so that's in there. So the width of the building, just so you can see what the math is doing, our output right now is 50. And our formula is 50 divided by a -2, so we get that -25. So if I input that from the distance, now you'll notice how we're halfway for the distance of this. So now when we move this point to that point, we'll never exceed the outside volume of it. And it's just only one step we have to do because we're using a square building for simplicity. So that now becomes our new surface. And so what I want to do is I want to kind of back this off a little bit. I'm going to pull this way off, and I'm going to pull this curve offset over here, and I want to feed this into the surface by patch. So instead of using the red line now, I'm going to use the black line, and I'm going to push that into there. And you'll notice now how the box jumped into that into our parameter. And now if we adjust the movement of the U and adjust the moment of the V, we never exceed our volume. Now the viewer doesn't have to see that, so what we can actually do is just hide that curve offset, and our box is staying where we want it to be. The next thing we want to do is actually now is to convert this into a floor plate, and the way we're going to do that is to take our plane now, and instead of using a rectangle by width and length, we're going to modify that into a box volume, and we'll do that in the next clip. Sorry that's a little shorter, but I need to grab up another definition.